Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear respected brothers and sisters, the word ummah, when I ask people, what does the word ummah mean? What is most of the people say? About probably 90% say the word ummah means nation. Actually, not quite. It doesn't mean nation. Because a nation has to do with your geographical and territorial area of the country that you live in, as far as your nationality and your race is concerned. But the word ummah actually means community. Community, the word community supersedes nationality, supersedes race, supersedes discrimination and differences. Why am I talking about the word ummah? Because the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us, ummah is like one body. If one part of the body is aching, the rest of the body feels it. What's going on right now around the world, my respected brothers and sisters in Islam, as you all probably know. Last week, the community went through a tremendous tragedy. I don't want to go over the details. Most of you know what I'm talking about what happened in New Zealand. As the Muslim community, what we need to do, we need to come together and put our forces together in order to combat Islamophobia, diffuse Islamophobia locally and globally. How can we do that? How are we able to do that? I'm going to give you a few examples of what each and every one of us is able to do to hopefully be able to fight back against Islamophobia and try to diffuse it. One of the most important things that we need to do to combat Islamophobia is to have civic engagement, political engagement, religious and interfaith engagement, social media activity engagement. One of the most important things is that for those of you who want to live in America for the rest of your life, you have children who are growing up in this country, going to school, going to college, you're running a business. If you consider yourself as an American Muslim who's going to live in this country, then you better wake up and start fighting back against Islamophobia, because it's not going to go away unless we stand up. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that, my respected brothers and sisters in Islam, is that we need to get involved in the political process of this great country of ours, America. Why? The decision whether you want to get involved in the political process or not, that's the decision is up to you. That's your choice, whether you want to be involved or not. But if you do get involved, what's going to happen, you're able to actually influence that political process, help change the political process. You're actually able to make a lot of changes, change players, characters, and hopefully be able to get elect representatives who are able to represent the Muslim community out there in the society. We don't have that many Muslim politicians out there. So extremely crucial that if we want to see changes happen in our communities, we need to be involved in the political arena. We need to have Muslim mayors, Muslim senators, Muslim council members. It's important that we get involved in those areas. Why? Because when you do get involved in the political arena and other areas that I mentioned, you're able to actually portray the correct message of Islam to the people. Tell them who we are as Muslims. Good, loving people. That's who we are. Not what the media has portrayed to the people and created this pessimism, this negativity in the mind of the people. Oh, don't trust the Muslim. Imagine you had a neighbor who came to you, hey, you see that guy there? Don't ever talk to him. Don't ever do anything with him. That guy is a thief. So what happens every day when you go into work, you see that guy, you don't go to him because somebody told you this guy is a thief. He deluded your mind. Don't trust this guy. But then what happens, one day you run into that person. And then you find that that individual that somebody was talking bad about was the nicest person in the world. So then you wonder why this guy misinformed me. Same scenario with the Muslim community. There are those out there who try to misinform the public, giving misinformation to the people out there. But where are we? What are we doing? Really not much. So political engagement is absolutely essential and absolutely necessary for us if we want to live in this country. As a start, it's extremely important that you study the American history. The founding fathers of this great country, Washington, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, if you go look at their lives, in fact, Thomas Jefferson actually has a Quran, which dates back to 1734. 1734. Another fascinating thing you probably didn't know is that the first translation of the Holy Quran was available in the early 1700s. So when the Holy Quran was translated into English in the year 1700, the amazing factor is that once the Quran was translated, it was the bestseller among the Protestants and among the American colonials in this early 1700. And by 1776, we had a revolution in this country. Are you telling me they weren't inspired by the Holy Quran? Think about that. So anyway, the founding fathers of this great country has given each and every one of you an unalienable right as a citizen. You have a right to property. You have a right to vote. You have a right to start a business. You have a lot of rights that have been granted to you by the great constitution of this great country. So don't underestimate the power that, the political power that is embedded in you. So you need to actually get involved and start working on those things. Another thing I wanted to mention, the first Muslim senator in the United States, his name was George Chasm in 1959. First Muslim senator. The second one was James Kaluzu, 1973. And then suddenly the Muslim community vanished from the political arena until Keith Ellison in 2007, the first Muslim congressman that actually was elected in Minnesota. And then miraculously, we had two female Muslim representatives that were also elected in 2008. Who are they? Ilhan Omar and Rashida, Sister Rashida. The fascinating thing is, this is actually an amazing thing that we had these female Muslim ladies who have been raised to actually represent the Muslim community. Even though there has been some backlashes against her, but that is okay. It's not a problem. In politics, these things happen all the time. So, having said that, we do need Muslims to be engaged in the civil engagement, civic engagement, political engagement. Also, we need you to access your social media platform. If you have social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, don't just go in there and put your photos and just flirt around with your friends and don't even care about anything else. No. You as a Muslim, you need to defend your faith. So for example, whenever I'm on social media, if I see a friend of mine or someone has posted something negative about Islam, I immediately respond back, I'm sorry, what you posted is not Islam. Who told you this is Islam? So I challenge those people and I tell them to remove the content. And if they don't want to remove the content, I report them to the Facebook. And I told them this is a hate speech. This is Islamophobia, etc., etc. So what they do, they take it down. So don't be passive. Don't say, oh, I don't care, it's none of my business. No. Each and every one of us can make an impact in the society. Remember one thing. We are living at an age, at a days and age of decentralized media and communication. In the old days, there was a handful of journalists, a handful of news media that we used to get our news from. These days, each and every one of you, you have your own news empire. You have your own selfie media. Everybody on their own phones. You have the capability to use that power that Allah has given to you for the sake of good, not for the sake of evil. So use these tools that have been given to you. Use them or lose them. So social media platforms are extremely important that you portray your message, the correct message of Islam. At the same time, if you see someone out there is continuously trying to misinform the public, you need to stand up to the plate. You need to stand that this is not right, this is wrong. So that is another way you're able to combat Islamophobia. The other one, as I mentioned, is being involved in the political arena. Because when you elect Muslim mayors, when you elect Muslim council members, they can actually help develop your community. Go, for example, look at the Filipino community in Carson. The Filipinos go to the city hall. Everybody there is Filipino. Everybody's involved. They're running the city. Go to Westminster Garden Grove, the Vietnamese community. They are everywhere. They're in the city hall, the mayor's a Vietnamese, the council member Vietnamese, and then when you go to their city, the entire city is like I'm in Saigon. It's like I'm in Vietnam. How did that happen? Community, collective effort. They all get together in a common cause to make changes in their community.